All right, all right, all right. We're back again with the trade ideas for 10, 21, 22. All right, y'all. Let's check it out. All right, so it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of. I mean, the price action doesn't look very good on the Nasdaq, right? And to be fair, Nasdaq trades in a very interesting way, especially with my strategy. Like you look at this and you're like, okay, well, it dropped down, but where did it come back up? It didn't, right? It just doesn't. It looks janky, right? So then you probably wouldn't even use that. You probably do something like this, right? Finally breaks up right there. But ultimately, we're still in this large range on the higher time frame. So if we go down to the hourly, let's just drop down. And then we can start to look at candlestick structure or in intermediate structure. So we had this peak here, came down, we slightly liquidated that, right? And then we finally dropped off, came back up slightly, right? And then I have to say that probably here, and then broke down below again. Came here, we broke down below. We finally came above, right? Slight stop, higher high, higher or lower low, higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then maybe lower high, and then liquidation. It looks like we're potentially coming back down, but I mean, price could do what it wants. So let's go down to the 30-minute. And as we start to see again, we start to paint this picture, comes up, we see a breakdown, great, break back above, and now we're breaking down yet again. So if we're on the 30-minute, we're like, okay, well, intermediate, right? Because we're still in this large zone, so it's basically a range. Or we call it NB where I'm from. We break below, again. So I mean, on a lower time frame perspective, as we continue to zoom in here, and we're looking and we're like, okay, well, we have this, right? Just like that. And so what do we want to see? Well, we want to see it pull back into here, and then we want to look to take a short. And I'd say to run these lows. I'd say ultimately. So let's go on the 15-minute. And yeah, just because look, I mean, it's a bearish day. It's a Friday, but it's bearish AF. So let's go ahead and put this here. This is recall the 30-minute zone or the 30-minute NB. And ultimately, we broke down here, and then we broke down here again. So we do have this striped pajamas going on now. So as we get lower and lower, we're looking and we're like, okay, well, yeah, cool. That could be a zone too. And I would probably look for a confirmation here first. A small position here for probably a 1-to-1. And let me go ahead. Got this notepad. All right, we got these alerts. We got the supply zone. Boom. All right, great. We got that supply zone right there. Gotta love the coffee, y'all. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait for this particular alert to go off, and we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at the 15-minute zone. Wee. All right, let's look at the euro. Actually, I don't want to look at the euro anymore. Let's go to gold. We're going to switch it up a little bit. GBPJPY. Everybody likes this one. All your favorite forex traders love the GBPJPY, so I'm gonna start to love it too. I think FXCM has the best data. Let's go ahead and put this on our charts. We're gonna add this into our watch list in the place of the euro. All right, what do we got here? Let's go ahead and zoom out. just a tad bit. Looks like we were doing some trading here. What were we doing? Well, this is some time ago. Look at those boxes. That's crazy. When you look at those boxes, yo, look what I was doing. I wasn't even using filled boxes on this. That's crazy. And I was using just orange lines everywhere. Everywhere. And why did I even change the blue? Look at that. Why did I change this color? How about we change it to something different? Can we do this? Nah, it doesn't look as good. Maybe we do orange, just like the other one. Look at that. No. Sorry, y'all. I know you didn't come here to see this. I know you didn't. I'm gonna get back to it. Don't worry. Let's let's go to orange. Yeah, orange is cool. And let's make it skinny like my old way. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so now that we did all that, let's go ahead and remove everything from this chart. So look at GBPJPY. Let's check it out here. Because you know, one forex pair, right? One index. I got an index which is consisting of stocks. I got one currency. I have a commodity, and then I have a crypto. So I have the gambit of the different markets. There's probably a few other markets I could add on here, but I like these ones. Okay, so price right here on the 4-hour, we're breaking up. And we had this slight little stopping action here. I'm almost hesitant to draw a box here because we had this long candle up and we had this pullback and then we had a break up. And I'm kind of hesitant to say that this is NB. On a lower time frame, it is, certainly. Right, you can see that there. This is on the 1-hour. It breaks up again. And I'd ultimately want to see it just continue to go up. So, boom, break. Looks like we're starting to get some bullish momentum here. Or, again, maybe we're just redistributing, or no, I'd say potentially reaccumulate. Ultimately, what we want to see before we took any particular type of trade, we could say that, but ultimately, I mean, there's a large gap here. So we could actually use this, maybe this area right here. All right, let's go to the hourly. Let's check this out. It looks like it's unmitigated. Let's go to the 30-minute. Got the 30-minute time frame. Okay, boom, bam, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go to the 15-minute. And I mean, when you look at this, you could say that's mid-gated, man. I don't know. I'd probably just stick with this area here because we just have such a large gap here. I mean, that would be great to see it just come down here, mitigate this zone, tap in and look for a potential entry. So let's go ahead and put a demand zone here. Boom. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, now we got a demand zone, and this is going to be on the 15-minute time frame. So we're just going to leave this. We're going to make this 2 pixels. There we go. That looks better. All right, great. So we're going to leave that there, see if we go ahead and get it tapped in today, and we'll go ahead and see what happens there. All right, so now we're back on gold. Let's go ahead and go up to the 1 month, and if we go to the 1 month, looks like we've just been, oh my goodness, these last few months, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months have been bearish, man. We've been bearish for half a year almost, right? Basically all year. So we see here we have these equal highs here. Okay, well, prices still continue to break down. So what does that actually mean? No, that means that we probably have something like this in here. So we can go ahead and make that look nice and neat right there. But ultimately, this isn't what we want to be looking at here, right? Because, well, if you're looking at this particular price action, we had this large move down, right? Well, this is a very ugly price action. See, this is what I'm just going to chalk it up to, because if you look here, we have this large move up on the monthly. All right. Then we finally broke that structure. And then what we have, what do we have? Well, we had this large move down here, right? So that's validated. And what would we ultimately want to see here? Well, we want to see somewhere in here get mitigated. So we have this last zone down here, $1,000 gold, man. That's ludicrous. All right, so we have that zone that's unmitigated, right? Because price opening, it didn't come back to this area to mitigate it. So we could look at that on the higher time frame. And we could just say, hey, we're going to be bearish until gold gets all the way down to $1,000 and $1,087.64, all the way from $1,621.19, or it's fluctuating right now. But is that ultimately realistic? I mean, who knows? What is really realistic? All right, so let me look at the weekly. Okay, great. And remember, price is fractal. So if I went down to the 15-second, I mean, what would you say? You say, I mean, honestly, I would say that kind of looks like what's going to happen on the higher time frame. But this is the 15-second, right? This is very, very low time frame. These is tick, 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 boom, right? So if we were looking just down here and we're like, okay, well, price is moving up right here. Oh my goodness. All right. So what are we shooting for? Price just had this large move down. So technically we'd be shooting for all the way up here, right? So or something like this. And I really do like this lower time frame. It's so much fun. So we see maybe something up here before ultimately going lower on the lower, or yeah, on this lower time frame. So what do? We saw price come up here, broke low. All right, we finally broke above here. So now we want to see it come back down and mitigate some of these zones in here on the 15-second. And so what I'm just trying to show you, right, is look at that. Again, price is fractal. So you could say that, Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, price is fractal. Yeah, raggle. All right, cool. So let's check this out. Okay, so price comes down and comes up. Slow stop right here. Very, very slow stop. So, excuse me, slight, not slow, slight stop. Pulls back just a bit, breaks back up, and it just moves sideways, right? Until now, it finally breaks below this particular area right here. If we're going to consider this candlestick or intermediate candlestick structure. Now we're saying, okay, where did that come from? It came from somewhere up in here. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and say, well, we want to see it come back up here to mitigate this on the weekly before we take a short. All right, cool. So then let's go down to let's go half a week. Let's go to 2 day actually. Maybe 2.5 day might be half a week. I guess 7. That doesn't make any sense, right? So maybe 3.5 days is actually a week. So maybe we go to the 7 days of the week, y'all. I can't do math. Okay, so great. And there we go. Look, we have our nice little zone there, and we're looking for price to come back. All right, so 3 day. That's what we meant to do. Okay, great. So we want to see price come all the way back up in here. And is it ultimately doing that? I mean, we don't know. Let's go down to the daily and let's go ahead and look a bit more micro. Okay, great. So we saw price actually, and this is intermediate, right? We saw price come up here, played around in here for a little bit, and it finally broke, right? Where'd it come from? Up in here somewhere, came back up, and now it looks like we're retesting. So we could say that this was intermediate candlestick structure on the lower time frame, right? Because on the daily, then we could make an argument that we are mitigating a particular zone in here somewhere to ultimately come up, to ultimately drop all the way back off. So let's go ahead and drop down to a 4 hour and see what we got going on here, okay? And so as you saw what I said before, right, we have price playing around in here. It's ultimately it didn't come back and it didn't break above this, right? And it just mitigated this area right here. So what I'm talking about is this particular move or this play here, right? Came back, pulled back, came down, right? What do we see? We saw price come and mitigate some area in there before ultimately dropping off, right? And of course, price just likes to play around. And it had this ridiculous wick candle. And then again, it dropped off. And you can make an argument that it broke this candlestick structure right here. And we say, okay, well, where'd that come from? Came from somewhere in here, and it came all the way down. And then now we have somewhere in here. And we could argue, again, this is just an argument, because if you want to take a trade, you make these arguments so you can confirm a particular bias that you want to actually play out. And that's where your analysis comes in over time, where you see, okay, this is a higher probability move because, it's doing all these particular things in this particular order. And this is what I'm willing to go ahead and put some risk on. Okay, so anyways, you see it in here now. We're looking down here at the hourly time frame. And so, okay, well, great. Now we came down. Now we could actually argue and say, okay, well, we had the buying climax, automatic rally, secondary test, STMB, right, or spring. And now what we want to see, or maybe STMB, and then maybe we see a spring right here, right, liquidate that low before ultimately running these highs here. And so we look over here and we see price is actually red. And today looks like a very much red day indeed. Okay, so what are we looking for? Well, price seems to have came down into here and now started to break up. Okay, well, if we continue to zoom in, we'll see the story that price is telling us. Okay, so price broke down here and it came down and it finally came back up. And I mean, ultimately, if we're looking at this with our trading Sharingan, right? Sharingan, right? However that the noise makes when he makes his eyes go how they go in Naruto. Oh yeah, this is how it go. Oh yo. All right, so I'm gonna stop now while I'm ahead. Okay, so you see price come into here and it plays around, right? So drops off, comes in here, plays around, boom, breaks up. Okay, so now what are we looking at? Ultimately, we could make an argument again, right? This is a zone because it ultimately breaks back above here, right? It wicks up. And so we could say, okay, well, now we should be prepped and primed and ready to go. And as I said before, we start getting a little bit more fractal. We go down to the 15 second. And as I was saying, okay, well, we're going to start looking at these lower time frame zones because price is fractal and ultimately we want to see it go up. And then we see that this little zone here, we say, oh, is this little zone that could. And maybe it could, right? Because we see this breakup, large move up. Now we want to see it come into here, and let's see what happens actually. I'm actually curious here. We're just going to put a mock trade here, and we'll see what happens. See if we can do this on the video that you guys see recorded. Where can I paper trade? Where's my paper trader? Let's connect my paper trader. There we go. Yeah, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here for a limit order. And I'm going to go ahead and limit in right now. Oh, dang. Looks like I missed the limit. It's okay though, y'all. It's okay. Let's see what happens here. We're going to go ahead and watch this real time. Uh-oh. Limit in. Is it just going to take me out? Uh-oh. What's going on here? What's happening, y'all? Oh, yeah. So that's an L. So there you see, I tried to limit in on this very small 15-second zone, and it didn't work out for me, unfortunately. And this is where you see a 15-second zone, and you confirm it. So now it's looking like it's starting to break down a bit. You could maybe claim absorption, but we call this crackhead trading where I'm from, or where I learned, where I learned to trade, because you're just really in the stuff, right? All right, let's just continue to look at it, and maybe we'll go ahead and see if we can take another one. Looks like a nice absorption entry is setting up. All right. Uh-oh. We have NB1. Uh-oh. So this is what I was talking about, y'all. We go to the limit order. We go buy stop, right? The very, very wide stop. And we're looking for it to run here. Let's see what happens, y'all. All right, looks like we got tapped in on our paper trade. We're gonna go ahead and move our take profit up that way. And so you see here, prices, you see how I got slipped in here, right? So there we go. Let's go ahead and move that there. This is the wild, wild west of trading, y'all, and it looks like it's just gonna poke all the way through. If it comes back up and it breaks this structure here, I'm gonna go ahead and move it to break even, or we're just gonna get tapped. We're just gonna get stopped out. We'll see here though. Where we at? 20 minutes on this video. All right, these are the special reels. All right, let's see what happens. Man, look at price. When you're down here, this could really play with your emotions. So I only recommend this for people who are definitely into the game a little bit. As you can see here, it broke down, and so you could actually argue that we maybe have a double MB to the downside. What I'm waiting for is, we already accepted the risk of our paper trade, of our almighty the paper trade. All right, so now you see it broke that structure, and what I should be doing right now is I should be moving it to break even, but I'm a little slow. And it looks like I was very slow on that. I should actually be tapped out already. And there's some pretty good spread here. If you see, right, like it's not letting me move it to break even because there's actually between the bid and the ask, there's a pretty big gap right now. And theoretically, I should already be out of this trade, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to close the trade, right? Because I should have already been out of that. So there you go. I mitigated some risk there because I didn't allow it to just, let me lose the entire 1% that I'm risking here on this paper trade. Oh, it looks like I'm risking 25% on $1,000 account. Or that's what it put my position on as. So as you can see, it's very interesting, right? And it's fractal, right? So now we're looking at price and it's just doing what it's doing, and it's going to do what it do. And yeah, this is on the 5-second time frame. These are just really fast ticks, right? Very, very fast ticks. So there you go. And it looks like it's going to go ahead and break out. Let's see here. With the spread, this would have been an L, right? But remember, we closed it. We closed it and mitigated our risk on this trade. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to cut it here. I hope you guys learned something. And go ahead and hit the comment section, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this and have a wonderful day. Let's get after it, y'all. Peace.